gonna be filming another video.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Are we in view right now?
Yes, you guys are good. Okay.
Hello, we're talking to you from our living room.
Yeah, you would. Welcome everybody to this episode, this special episode of Locked in the Tower. We are going to do a follow-up video on our waking up video, part 1. We are here again with my parents, Jessica and Gabriel. So if you guys want to give a little recap, what did we talk about last time?
We just talked about how we woke up and what the process was, and it was about a year ago.
About a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
That's been that long.
Yeah. It was a year ago. I woke up a year ago. Gabriel woke up a little bit sooner.
Sometime in April, about April. Yeah, I knew something was funny with the memorial, so that's kind of the first.
So after we decided we were no longer going to continue going to the meetings, what happened after that?
So that's...
Well, we tried to fade, remember? We had a plan of exiting.
We actually hadn't really decided what we were going to do yet after I woke up and we woke up the kids. We hadn't really... We were trying to figure out a way to fade, so we thought about going to different congregation in Bakersfield.
Or just telling them. No, you shouldn't be saying words.
We're going to have to edit that.
Yeah, you're going to have to edit that.
So we thought about...
We were just planning to fade and just tell everybody we had moved to a different location, different congregation, if they asked. And we could always keep in touch with the organization because the YouTube community knows more about what's going on than they do.
But that didn't work out exactly how we planned it. When we woke up, we had decided that we didn't think that it would be right for us not to tell Gabriel's mother and my mother.
Well, the plan was to wake her up.
Our consciences will not let us leave them in there knowing what we knew. We thought maybe they would listen and maybe wake up themselves.
That was kind of before we knew as much as we've learned since about how hard it is to wake your family members up, but we really thought that they would listen to us. And so Gabriel spoke to his mom a few times. We were sick during all the waking up process, probably for about 2 months we were sick. We talked about that in our last video. But she kept stopping by after meetings or out in service. And
she was doing her usual policing, which she had been doing all our lives, really. She's been policing us. We miss a meeting here or there, she comes knocking, tries to see what's the problem.
And the kids had gone to a couple of meetings by themselves before they had woken up, and I had gone to one meeting. I was pretty upset, but that was right before I had actually woken up, but that was the last meeting that I had gone to. So she stops by, and Gabriel was showing her a couple of clips from the Australian Royal Commission on YouTube, and just telling her a few things, and she kind of listened and didn't seem too paranoid about it. And then what happened?
Well, I wanted to recap it. Somebody's watching this video and they don't know what waking up means, a term. It's just realizing what the organization is really about, and the illusion or delusion that someone's under, thinking that it's the truth and thinking that they have the only truth and that they're an inspired organization from God, which all sounds now insane. But when you wake up or you're aware of it, you have an awareness or you're conscious of what's happening. So that's what we're trying to convey through this. We know that there's others that watch this and they know exactly the lingo that we're talking about. Now, there was a time I remember that I didn't even know what tap meant. So we've come a long way. So as far as my mother, she, on a Saturday, I went to go visit her, help her with some work, yard work, and some things that she needed done. And I got to talk to her. She was very cordial and nice. One Sunday came around, Sunday morning, she changed her tune. And she began to start asking why didn't we make it to the meeting that morning, and things started changing.
And then she showed up on Thursday, right?
Yeah, she showed up on Thursday when I wasn't home though.
Yeah,
But
you were at work.
that Saturday, you had showed her some things, and your brother was there as well. And you
Yeah.
kind of went through the whole
Yeah,
flamethrower.
yeah, I
I
mentioned a few things, but I didn't talk to him about everything. But we went over the book, the new purple book, which replaced the Proclaimer's book. And
Did you show her the songbook?
no, I never showed
The
her.
King of Sorrows book.
No, there's certain things about that people shouldn't know about. It's too horrifying. But
So she showed up Thursday after she got off of service.
Yes, Thursday. She had gone out in service. Gabriel wasn't home, and so it was just me and the kids. And she came in, and she started out with her, was out in service, missed you guys, and then started trying to talk to us about some things that we had already talked to her about. We were trying to convince her that by showing her the little bit that we knew of, a year ago we didn't even know half as much as we knew now. And so just with that little bit we were trying to talk to her, and she didn't want to listen. And then all of a sudden she kind of changed and she switched her tune and then asked me if we were ever going to go to meeting again. And I said no. And she said that she had spoke with one of our elders and that we needed help.
And that we would be expecting a call.
Yeah. And all during that time, she had everybody really upset. The kids were upset. Everybody was crying. And then after she told me she did that, I told her, you don't know what you just did. And then she proceeded to get up and tell the kids, well, I'm not ever going to see you guys ever again. And so then I had the kids all go and hug her, and everybody was crying, and she's leaving the door. It was pretty dramatic.
she went from
Ridiculous.
From agreeing that some of the points in the purple book, the overlapping generation, they started to see things. And she went from that to calling the elders and trying to turn us in. So I thought that was, once Sunday came around, it's like her mind clicked and changed.
Didn't she mention us being like Judas, or who did she mention us being like? I remember she.
Oh, that's
they had
right.
given-
She did say something like that.
Yeah.
The support parts like Korah.
Oh
With-
yeah,
Korah.
The organization is Moses, and they have their tablets, and we're Korah now because we don't agree with their tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she leaves, and during that time I had gone to the laundry room and texted Gabriel, told her that she was there and what she was doing, but he couldn't make it back in time. So she leaves, and then I think it was about 5 hours later, Gabriel gets a message on his phone from one of the elders wanting to speak with him, and that was just 5 hours later. And so then Gabriel gets home and he calls the brother back. Can we say who it was?
Yeah.
Can you say the name? Brother Biddle?
Middle?
So Brother Biddle calls, and we have audio recording of the whole conversation too, and you can vaguely hear what he's saying.
Which I believe that's in another video, right? We already posted it.
Did we post that one?
Yeah, I think that was in the betrayal video.
Oh, okay, so
go check that one out if you want to see the audio. Or hear the audio.
yeah, so he was already ready. Come to find out, when Gabriel called, the other elder, Brother Wallace, was on the other line, or listening in from the same. They must have had him on the answer machine, and then.
We're on speakerphone. Well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. I say answer machine.
You said answer
Oh my God.
machine.
Okay. So then he goes, he wants us to turn in our disassociation letters. Long story short, Gabriel said no. We had
In
already,
like less than 15 minutes, he wanted us to disassociate ourselves.
I think he said it within like 5 minutes. He wanted, so what do you don't want to be witnesses anymore? Oh no, he asked him, so you don't want to be a ministerial servant anymore? Like that was the most important thing.
That's what that was one of the first things that he asked me, thinking that I would think about it. And but by that time I realized that it's just a make-believe title to get them to get you to work for them and do their bidding. And so these titles come and they pass them out and they mean nothing.
And they passed it out pretty quick, actually, because when they asked him to be a ministerial servant, right before the meeting one night, they just pulled him out aside and said, have you ever been convicted of child molestation? That was the only question they asked him before
Why the song was
appointing him.
playing?
Well, the song was playing.
Did they even ask if you wanted to be a servant, or did they just assume that?
No, they didn't even
They
ask him.
assumed that. I was working the audio and I pressed the music and then they asked me to step outside. So I had just enough time to turn the music off for prayer when they finished that's how quickly they promoted me to
This congregation
10-star.
was very
10-star.
unorganized. We have plenty of stories about the unorganization in here. And God's appointed very organized, supposedly religion.
So after that call with the elders, what happened?
they started their protocol. They started to do their paperwork.
Yeah.
That was
That's
kinda
when
where we
people
went into
started
the-
treating us differently too.
Yeah, but it wasn't exactly right that minute. We kind of went into panic mode, and that was where we decided that we should probably go and tell people.
Well, I think that was after, because we had noticed that some people were treating us differently already in the stores. And
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because Tuesday night, okay, so we got the phone call Thursday night, and then the following Tuesday, that was when they did the local needs part, which we actually have video of that too. Well, we have audio because we called in on the phone line and listened to them give the apostate talk, the local need apostate talk.
And before that, on Saturday, they were at the house, remember?
No, that was a couple weeks later, or a week later, when we came to the house. Yeah. So we have audio of the local needs part where they're calling us mentally diseased, and we should try to get a clip of that. But the following weekend, we were still in our panic mode. Caitlin and I decided we were going to go to a couple of our friends' house and talk to them.
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
supposed friends.
yeah.
And we kind of gave them the flamethrower of the United Nations thing and
Then they had to listen to you because you hadn't been labeled yet. So that was they did not expect you to go ransacking them and going to talk to as many people as you did to before they labeled you.
well, we told them what was going on because Caitlin and I hadn't even spoken to an elder and they wanted to disfellowship us. So we kind of told them that they were going to disfellowship us because we were just asking questions and talking against the governing body.
You got this fellowship that they call posthumously.
Oh, yeah. And because of the child molestation and the Australian Royal Commission, that was the main thing we were talking about at that time.
Yeah, because there was that one guy that had the ankle monitor on while he was
Yeah.
in the meeting.
Yeah, so child molesters in our congregation, pedophiles, is a pretty known thing. There's a few in this town, and they weren't allowed at gatherings.
No, but they
And,
still came.
one that goes out in service regularly. But yeah, we were in our panic mode, and we were just talking to everybody we can. And the funny thing is, I've never seen so many witnesses in the store in my entire life. Every single day, I was running into somebody and telling them everything I could tell them that we knew, because I knew what was going to happen. We still hadn't been disfellowshipped yet, but it was already going around the hall.
We call it executed.
Yeah.
Or excommunicated, or whatever they call it.
I had gone to my mother's that same weekend that Kayla and I had gone around talking to people, different ones in the congregation. I'd gone to my mother's and she had started to believe me. Well, she did believe what I was saying and she was crying.
Or she listened.
She was scared.
She listened, but she was having that cognitive dissonance.
She's extremely gullible too, so whoever's around and whoever's giving her attention, she'll listen to.
And a lot of people in the hall, they just don't have the mental capacity.
Yeah, my mother's never been a thinker when it's come to anything, whatever personal decision she's making. She has to have somebody tell her what it is. So that's kind of why I went and talked to her to begin with, was I thought she would listen to me. But
Didn't happen.
she didn't.
Mine listened to me for a little while until Sunday morning came and her demeanor changed, and that's when she thought she was doing the right thing by betraying the family and listening to people that she doesn't even know. So we tried to talk to them only because we didn't want that feeling that we left them behind and they were not aware. So they are aware of the things. They are aware of the things that we've talked to them about, but they just will not believe or half believe it. So they have, they've been on the cause most of their lives, so they're not about to leave it haphazardly.
Another thing that we experienced too was the people that we thought would listen to us, and then our closest friends gave us about 10-15 minutes in the conversation, and we're like, okay, bye, and that was it. Caitlin's friend, she didn't even get to talk to because one of the girls here in town called her first, and that was Caitlin's best friend that she had for several years.
Best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people that you're supposed to be friends with that supposedly know you and trust you, just, you know, they're so scared that you're gonna turn them to your evil ways, they don't give you the time of day.
Well, they've been trained all their lives, so when the time comes, they know how to turn it off. They know how to switch off friendship. So they've been trained all their lives, and in a way we were trained as well. If it would have happened to us, we would have saw somebody else, we probably would have done the same thing.
I would have listened.
To an extent, yeah.
Because I never, even with the fellowship ones, when we were in it.
But we wouldn't have known why they were disfellowship. We were not supposed to know these things.
But if they were telling us, if they came to us and then told us, hey, we found this out, I would actually like listen to them and go, oh my gosh, you know? Like I actually would have looked something up. I know that I would have.
You say that, but then you think about how you reacted when Dad was saying stuff.
I still listen to him though. I still listen to him. Yes, I did. I listened to him for like 5 minutes as I'm still listening and I'm walking out the door yelling, but I'm still listening.
I had to spoon feed her every day.
Spoon fed no more?
No, I had to spoon feed you the truth.
Yes, but I'm not spoon fed anymore.
Now you're taking that shovelfuls and throwing it around.
Yeah, but still, even when there was disfellowships, like we had a patient come in to my job. She's disfellowshipped, and I just had regular conversations with her. I never felt comfortable treating people in a certain way and not giving them their dignity.
Well, we probably should wrap this portion of the video down. We just wanted to say hello. We missed meeting today, so we just thought we'd stop and visit this nice place. We had a little bit extra time.
I did drive by the King Hall.
We went to the service meeting and then we were like, nah.
Yeah.
You knew we got time for that.
Poor guys. I felt bad for them though, wasting their Saturday when they could be out here at the beach with us.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. All those kids that were piling in the car.
And we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll talk to them in a few minutes or when we get home. Nice meeting you.
Signing out.